Hey guys, what's up? Alec back with another stock market investing video, and today we're going to be talking about something that I know is at least on everybody's mind, at least a little bit, and that's going to be airline stocks. What I think of airline stocks right now, and which is the best airline stock in my opinion. Now, on the week, we're up about 9%, $1,200, $1,300. In the month, we're up 35%. So make sure you stick around for the full video to see my take on airline stocks, if I'm buying airline stocks, if I'm selling airline stocks right now. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, a few things I want to touch on about airline stocks right now is going to be, the first one's going to be the holidays. So whenever there's traveling with Thanksgiving and Christmas, that's when airline stocks typically perform the best. And you can see they're performing really good right now with a huge run up on American Airlines. And a lot of these stocks are going to be very similar and following the same patterns. Now, with that being said, a lot of airline tickets are being canceled right now. For example, I was supposed to go to Chicago for Thanksgiving, and my parents thought it would be better to actually go ahead and cancel our tickets because of the rising numbers and the rising cases too. So a lot of other people are all doing the same thing, which is definitely affecting the airlines and going to keep affecting the airlines too. Now, in a second, we'll go over why the airlines are trading a little bit higher. So here you'll actually see the airlines are up about 53% in the past month, which is absolutely bonkers, and it's a huge amount. Now, airlines rely heavily right now on the stimulus getting passed because they get a huge bailout from the government. And with hopes of stimulus getting passed, that's good news for the airlines. So let's go into this article, why airline stocks are trading higher today, and kind of highlight some key points. So here you'll see optimism surrounding a COVID-19 vaccine has lifted travel and airline outlooks, and a number of airline stocks are trading higher. This was posted on Thursday. American Airlines is the world's largest airline by scheduled revenue and passenger miles. After completing a major fleet renewal, the company has the youngest fleet of the U.S. legacy carriers. Southwest Airlines, which we'll be talking about also, is the largest domestic carrier in the U.S. and is measured by the number of originating passengers boarded. Southwest operates over 700 aircrafts in an all Boeing fleet, by the way. JetBlue, which we won't really talk about, but Delta is going to be one that we are going to be talking about, is one of the world's largest airlines, flying to more than 325 destinations in 60 countries. Delta operates in a hub and spoke system where it gathers and distributes passengers across the globe through key locations: Atlanta, New York, Salt Lake City, Detroit, Seattle, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Even though they rely on stimulus and are up 52% in the past month, I think they've already priced in the airlines. I think they've already priced in most of this good news and are expecting the stimulus. Now, what you'll see is they had a huge run up in June 8th to $20. And look what happened right after they ran up. So they were at $9. And in 1 month, very similar to what's going on right now, they went to about $20 and then all the way back down to $11. So it's still super risky, and it could happen again. They can have that run up just like they've had before and then goes back down. Now, typically this airline, American Airlines, they trade at least above $30 and they stay at $30. So they have been impacted very heavily. I was also reading an article saying that business travel is a huge part of a lot of the airlines. People being flown out to different cities and states for business activities and business meetings, where nowadays, now they can just hop on a Zoom call and do a Zoom meeting. So I actually was reading the article, and it was saying that about 30 to 50% of the business travel will never come back to airlines, and it'll never be the same as it used to be, because it's a lot easier to hop on a Zoom call rather than to hop on a flight and fly 2,000 miles, or in some cases even more. Some people even have to fly to China, Japan, and all these other places too. So personally, I would want to wait for about a 20 to 30% pullback on airlines to be buying in at them again, I'd probably want to be buying American Airlines right around $13, $14. I'll start a small position at that price and then buy even heavier around $12 and $11 if it gets that low again. Now, in my opinion, airlines are going to be a long-term hold. They're something that you want to actually hold for 2, 3, 5 years down the road because we could actually see them at least getting to $30. Because in my opinion, I think we can actually see American Airlines getting back to $30 and 2xing on American Airlines too. But let's look at the financials of some of these bigger airlines and see which one's the best overall, in my opinion. So net income, total revenue, as you see, it's about $40 billion across the board. Doesn't really increase for American Airlines. The balance sheet is pretty bad, in my opinion. They're pretty equal on assets and revenue. So let's compare it to its competitors and see if their balance sheets are a little bit better and if their revenue is increasing a little bit more too. All right, so here we have UAL pulled up, and the total revenue, it looks like it's around the same thing, right around $40 billion, and they're not growing by much. In 2018, they almost grew double digits. In 2019, they're pretty much staying flat and staying the same. Their balance sheet is a little bit better. As you can see, the assets and liabilities aren't matching up 100%. It's closer to about 78% on assets to liabilities too. Also, if we go into the balance sheet and take a look, their cash and cash equivalents on UAL is up 344% year over year. Short-term investments is down 74%. And now we have Delta pulled up, DAL, and their net income's looking a lot better than the last two. And their total revenue looks a little bit better too. So they were almost at $50 billion in 2019. So I would say that this one's going to be the number one pick so far is DAL, and their balance sheet is about 76% from assets to liabilities, which is better than the last two as well. So DAL so far is the best in my opinion. Their cash and cash equivalents says it's up 767% year over year, which is a big deal too. And then here we have Save pulled up, which is going to be Spirit Airlines. You guys are probably all familiar with Spirit. They actually had a huge burst in total net income in 2019. But if we look at their total revenue, look how small it is. It's only 2 to 3 billion, where the other people were like 40 to 50 billion. So you can tell how much smaller that Spirit is. But the good thing about Spirit is they have been growing consistently, almost double-digit growth in revenue every single year. So the good thing is you can see the stock price actually growing a lot faster than the other ones because look at the revenue growth. It is exceeding the other ones too. Now, the good thing about Spirit is also the balance sheet is better than the last three. So their revenue growth and their balance sheet overall is better than the last three because their assets to liabilities is only 67%. Compared to 100% or 80 or 70% like the other ones we looked at. Now, if we click into balance sheet also, you'll actually see the year over year, the cash and cash equivalents is up 108%, and their total current assets is up 78%. So in my opinion, I would say that Delta is the safest one so far. And then if you want like a more of a growth opportunity, I could see Spirit as a nice growth stock. But obviously they do offer more risk because they're not as nearly as big as the other one. They're about a tenth of the size of the other airlines that we talked about. So overall, I would say that airlines are going to be a wait for sale. I would wait for about a 20 to 30% pullback. Like I said, I think they've already priced in the stimulus at this point. And I think they priced in the stimulus here too. I think this was when we first thought we were getting a second stimulus right around May and June. And you can see that the stock rose about 100% in the span of a couple weeks too. So that's exactly what's going on here. Now we have about 50%, 52% gain in the last month. I think that this one could ride up another 20% maybe. It's still super risky when you're trying to time the market, but there's a good chance that, the airlines could go up another 15, 10, 20% along those lines. And then after that, they can see a pullback. And last time, historically speaking, we saw a pullback from American Airlines. It looks like they fell about 42 to 43% on that pullback too. So be prepared. Don't put your life savings or anything like that into airlines. Make sure your portfolio is diversified and you are balancing it out too. And if you want to get into American Airlines, set your price alert for like $14, $15, $13, and buy more the lower it goes. So you can start buying at 15 with small amount, like $50. And then if it goes to 14, maybe add in like 75 more. And if it goes to 13, maybe add in 150 more. If it goes to $11 a share, American Airlines or any of the other ones, I'm just using American Airlines for an example because it's one that's well known and a lot of people like to trade it because it's a cheaper stock too. So if it goes to 12 or 11, maybe go ahead and put, $300 in. That's something I would do. And remember, these are all just my opinions. When you're trading airlines, it's very hard to see what's going on because there's a lot of variables especially with the shutdowns happening, the hospitalizations rising, the deaths rising, people afraid to travel and fly. And then also with the vaccinations is another variable. I saw some airlines are going to be like requiring a vaccination shot for you to travel. And then also the stimulus is another big thing too to worry about. Because if you guys don't know what happens when the stimulus comes out, the airlines get like X amount of money. The airlines get a bunch of money for their payroll, so they get like billions and billions of dollars from the government and basically get bailed out from the government. Now, I'll leave you guys with this. I'll definitely recommend to read these two articles. You'll see here, Delta warns on slowing bookings, higher cash burn as COVID infection climb. Delta stock rallied toward an 8-month high. So it's at an 8-month high right now. So in my opinion, it would be a good idea to take profits on these airlines. And with the cash burn coming, they're just burning cash right now. So we'll just go through some quick points of this one. Other carriers also have warned investors about weakening demand due to the rise of infection. Delta CEO Ed Baisden said weaker bookings are adding about $2 million in daily cash burn. So they're burning about $2 million because of the weak bookings and the planes aren't filled. So when you're looking around, you probably see a bunch of empty seats if you're traveling on airlines right now. But the good thing is he expects the carriers to break even by spring. So in my opinion, now's the time you want to be selling these stocks because they're at an 8-month high, especially Delta Airlines. And then probably buy back in right around February once the infections and the cases start getting a little bit better, especially with the spring. A lot of spring break travel is going to be going on too. As you see, they're burning about $2 million in daily cash burn right now, and the stocks are up huge because of the stimulus. And he expects that cash burn to stop right around spring. So read this full article. I would definitely recommend it. It was definitely That is the video though, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Remember to look at your balance sheets, especially if you're looking at an airline that you want to be safe in, especially if you want to have peace of mind when getting in an airline stock. So guys, leave a thumbs up on the video. If you need help and you like the way I invest and your profile doesn't look like this, 35% in the past month, 9% in the past week, that is a very good month. Go ahead and reach out to me and I'll put you on the wait list for the close friends list where it shows exactly what I buy and what I sell to. Share with a friend, leave a thumbs up. It really helps me out. As long as you keep liking these videos, I'm going to keep making them. I'll see you guys in the next video. And remember, don't time the market, buy the market. Peace.